Hello, welcome to the Interactive World Gas Map application. My name is Peregrine Bush, Senior Cartographic Editor at the Petroleum Economist. Today we will look at the basic functions of the application. Okay, so here is the landing page for the application. The landing page just gives you some background information and some links to some useful resources that you may want to make the most of whilst using the application. We've got a user guide and some frequently asked questions. Now the user guide is effectively a really simple way of explaining what I'm talking to you about today, the basics of the application, what the controls do, statistics, some ad data and all our little widgets and a whole load of other useful information within this. So it's probably worthwhile downloading that from either within the landing page or from within the application. I can show you where to download this from within the application. We also have frequently asked questions. So you might have a question for us. So check this out. We might have the answer already for you in this document. So you can quickly scroll through that. So there's you can open the application from within this bit here, or you can launch it from the top of this page here. So let's open the map up, and what happens here is your screen will load up and you'll be presented with this little screen, and we please ask you to read it and then click the I agree, I've read, and then we can go OK, and then we're into the application itself. The application is an online system powered by Esri. Esri are a leading software manufacturer for the GIS community globally, and not exclusively used by the oil and gas sector, but by all sorts of different industries globally. So they have a vast knowledge on how GIS systems work, which is why we use them, because most of the information that is compatible with most of our clients. So what we have here is a map, very similar looking to, say, Google or Bing, and functions in much a similar way. Let's have a little look around the map here. So we've got a scale bar and we've got a specific location, and these are done in degrees. If you click this little button here, you can click somewhere, it tells you what the coordinates are of that particular place. We've got some navigation tools. So here you can zoom in and zoom out. You can zoom in using your mouse wheel, so you're zooming in and zooming out using the mouse wheel. We also have the ability to, if you press the Shift key on your keyboard and then drag an area, it will zoom into that area as well. And at any point, if you want to return back to the home screen, you can do so just by clicking the home button, and that will take you back to where we started. Petroleum Economist have incorporated a series of widgets into the application, so you can actually make the most of the information that's available. So these are our basic widgets. So on this side, the first is the legend. The legend gives you the information about what each polygon or line means and what the corresponding status is of those. So as you zoom in, you'll also notice that if there's other layers, they become visible. They also pop up into the legend here. So in this case, as we've zoomed in, LNG projects have appeared. The next widget is our base map gallery. If you don't like our base map here, you don't have to use that. You can use oceans, or you can use OpenStreetMap, or you can use light grey. It's perfectly fine with us to use whichever you feel more comfortable with. So we've got topographic. We zoom to a different area and you can obviously see there's different things here. We've also got imagery. Now imagery is very useful, so if you can keep zooming in, and as you can see we can zoom very close into particular areas, and this is obviously Chevron's Gorgon project in the Northwest Shelf, so you can actually physically see the imagery here on the map. Now obviously understand that not all parts of the world will have up-to-date imagery. So you might be zooming into an area which is where a project is under construction and it might not be visible yet, but it will take time for the satellite imagery to refresh, but it will refresh at some point. So just be aware that the imagery is not maintained by Petroleum Economist. This is maintained by a third party, so we don't have any control over the currency of the digital imagery. But it's a useful tool anyway to see where things are and how big they are physically on the ground. So we'll go back to our topographic. You can see here that it's quite different, and you can zoom back out. So our next layer here is our information layer. Now I said earlier that you can download the user guide and the frequently asked questions. You can also download them from this section here, and this is where you would find them. So you can click on those and then you can download. You can also contact us at Petroleum Economist. There's myself, Peregrine Bush, or Kevin Fuller, and we'll be pleased to answer any of your questions that you have about the application or about any of the information that's shown on the map. Also within the information we have our definitions, why we put different things into different categories, and see our disclaimer, and our sources of where we get all our information. Our next tool is a little widget that we've created for our mapping partner. We're delighted that Chevron have partnered with Petroleum Economist on this mapping tool, and so here you can click through to their website and find out where and what Chevron are up to in the global gas industry. There's 5 more little tools here. So we've got our layer list. A layer list is what's showing on the map, and you can turn it on and off. So if we turn the gas fields off here, turn the gas fields off. So that's fairly straightforward information there. And the layer list will be important in a second when we add some third-party data to the map. So our next tool is measurement. So if you wanted to measure a particular area, we can do this. We can do by area, we can do by distance, and we can do by location. So if you're interested, in, say there was a particular area of the world that you want to look at, you just draw around an area and then double click to finish, and then you can change it into whatever metric you like. Square meters, whatever your metric is, or you can do distances again. So if you wanted to, you can click on a start point and then say we wanted to follow down, see how far it was offshore. This particular pipeline is offshore. You can see here that we've drawn those lines, double click to finish, and then we can see that it's 38.5 miles or 62 kilometers, or whichever metric you want to measure it in. If you wanted to find the specific location on the Earth's surface of a particular place, obviously this is the tool to use this for. So you can, if you wanted to measure where that landing point was, that will tell you there in metric, or we can do it in imperial as well, so in degrees, minutes and seconds. So that measures those points. So that's quite a useful tool, so you can actually kind of see how big or see how far away things are from one another. We have a print tool. So we move to a bit more area here. So what we can do here is we can change this. We can change this to Australia, NWS. Let's call that NWS. And our print tool allows you to print what you see on the screen and then use it within reports and presentations. And we don't mind how many of those you download or use, as long as you reference Petroleum Economist somewhere within the document or on the website or whatever tool that you're using. And you can download these as PDFs or EPS or GIF or JPEG, whatever the format is that you decide. So in this case, I'm going to use a PDF. And I'm going to quickly show you how quickly it is to print this. So we've renamed it as Australia NWS. That has quickly made our PDF here. You can click on the PDF and that will open it up. And there we go. It quickly shows you all the names of the fields, all the names of the pipelines, and then obviously in here we've got a legend and a scale bar and a timestamp of when we did it, so today's date, and then obviously our copyright down the bottom here. And as I say, you can use as many of these as you like within the application. So that's print, and as I say, you can do as many of those as you see fit, and use them within reports and presentations. Now I said that we've got an add data tool. Add data is a great way of utilizing your own GIS data layers if you have them, and they can be added by file, so you can add by shapefile or a CSV or a JSON file. For those who are technically minded, those kind of names will be familiar to you. For others, you can get them via what we call web services. So I'm going to show you a specific example here. So this is some third-party data not related to oil and gas. I'm going to add that to the map, and I know it's in the United States, so I shall use my tool here from earlier to go back to the Permian Basin. And as you can see there, we've got a whole series of tiles that have come over the top of our map, and that is the layer that we've just added. It's a US tapestry of states and counties, so you can see that there. And if we go to our layer list, you'll see that it's added itself as a separate layer, and you can change the transparency of this layer as well. So you can add as many layers as you like to the map. Obviously, more layers you add, probably you'll get some latency with the speed of the application, because obviously it's sucking in more information. So just be aware that more layers you add, the slower the application will become, depending on your internet speed. So that was add data, and what I'll do is we'll turn that layer off so that we don't need that layer at the moment. And our final bit is, in this section anyway, is our key industry events. Now, Petroleum Economist has compiled a whole series of key events that happened in the gas industry throughout 2019, and we will add in 2020 as and when things happen in the coming year. So here you can see a whole series of different events that have happened by month, whether it's an LNG plant or whether there's been a massive find on a particular field. That is all listed here, and that's just an interesting way of finding out what's key things have happened in the industry over the past 12 months, and obviously we'll keep adding bits and pieces to that as and when they occur throughout 2020. So to close this little toolbar here, there's two little arrows, and you just click on the toolbar. So we've got three more specific widgets I'd like to share with you here. So the first one is statistics. The statistics box can be moved, so you can pick it up and drag it across your screen, and then you can expand it using the bottom right hand corner. And within this you can see that we've got primary natural gas demand by region, we've got some gas production and gas consumption figures, and these have been provided to us by the US Energy Information Administration. And that just gives you some background information on the state of the the gas industry, and the state of the LNG industry in terms of trade movements as well. And these are being supplied to us by our partner, SETI-Gas. The next tool is a bookmark tool or a featured areas tool. So in here, again, you can move this box across. So here we've selected some key areas which are of interest to Chevron and Petroleum Economist. So within these, you can just click on any of these and you click them, and it will take you straight to the area. So we've got the Neuquén Basin, the Permian Basin in the Texas. We've also got Trinidad and Tobago, East Africa, the Northwest Shelf, and you can quickly see how quickly the map zooms across to these areas. Now, if you wanted to add an area of your own, it's quite easy to do so. say we were working on Southern North Sea and we were looking at specific projects in this area here. So let's go to Southern North Sea. So we can type in the bar here, South North Sea, Southern North Sea, and we click the plus button, and what it does is it adds a new tool, a new little icon here, and it's slightly different to the ones that we've added preloaded, so we know that it's one of your own specific tools. And what you can do is we go off to the Gulf of Mexico, and then you suddenly think, I really need to quickly zoom back to the area I was at before. So we can just quickly click on those, and you can add as many of those as you like. Really quickly, it helps you zoom around the map to areas of interest rather than having to quickly zoom in and zoom out all the time. You can actually predefine some areas that you're interested in on a regular basis, and then you can zoom to those. And finally, our information tool. So this is a summary tool of everything that's available on the screen. So you can see here, as you zoom, the assets change. So you can see the number of fields, so they should all be listed. If the field name, we know there's a field there and we haven't been able to find what the field is called, it will come up as null. That's just a default of the database system that we use. But you can see here that it's very useful. And again on the pipeline, so all the pipeline names, so whether it's got a specific project name or whether it's a to and from label, it's useful to see. So you can obviously see how many projects there are. And obviously there's some grayed out ones here. These are obviously for data layers that aren't visible within the area that you're looking. So if we scroll down the coast of the United Kingdom into here, we know that there's an LNG facility at Grain. So you can see that's an import facility like that. So if I zoom back out, and as I zoom back out, you'll see that more and more information is being shown. And if I zoom down here, now that we've got into an area where there's production, there's some export facilities as well, and they're all listed as well. So they're the widgets on the map, all very useful, but probably what people want to see is what the actual information is on the map. So let's zoom into a specific area of the map, and what you can do is you can click on any of the fields and it'll tell you what the fields are. You can click on any of the pipelines and that will tell you who the owners are and what they are and what the size and what the status is of those pipelines. So it's quite an interactive product. Likewise with the LNG facilities, you can zoom to those, so you can keep zooming in, and then we can go back to our base map gallery, and then we can go to our images again, and we can actually physically see that project there. So we've listed some basic information about these projects. So what type it is, what the project name is, what status is, when it started up, and who the operator is. So that's that for LNG facilities. And obviously again for the pipelines, so you can obviously see where they started, where their destination is, how long they are, and what size they are if known, and what their status is. So we've got that across the globe. We have a total global coverage, and as you can see, as you zoom out, some of the pipeline names will appear, and if there's fields, so we can keep scrolling down this pipeline. If we know the field name, we should get to Hassi Armel eventually. There we go. It's this vast field down here, Hassi Armel in Algeria. You can click on it and it just double checks that it is that. So you can click on the map at any point. So we go home. The last thing to show you is what we call our attribute table. You can see here it's shown up as an attribute table. And this has all the different data layers in it. And it takes a little while because it's trying to find all the information on the screen. And it can give you a list of all the information here as well. And I'll do a different video in the future which shows you how to use the tool here to use as a filter, and that gives you more of a specific search on particular projects or by any one of these categories. But it does show you all the information here. What we can do is ascertain that within this, if we turn off filter by map, it will show every single pipeline in this case in the list. But if we change it by filter by map, it will only show what's shown on the screen. So as we zoom in, the number of pipelines reduces, or gas processing plants or gas fields. So if there isn't any gas fields or LNG projects or GTL projects, it won't show anything at all in the attribute table. So that's a really basic guide to the application. As I say, we're going to produce another small video to show you how to filter some of the data from the attribute table so that you can actually find specific things. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully you'll find the map interesting to use.